division, and that is the New England Patriots. They had a bizarre offseason, I will have to say. The draft, very strange. Very strange draft. I'm not really sure what to make of what they did in the first round drafting
Was
Cole
that a play on
Strange.
words there?
Actually, it was
Yeah.
unintentional, but it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, you made the Cole Strange joke. I love it.
Yeah, it was very strange what they did in the first round. A guy they could have easily gotten in the fourth or fifth round, they just went ahead and took in the first.
Why not?
Sure. Okay. They also acquired Davante Parker this offseason, which I think could mean good things for them. They drafted Tyquan Thornton. A lot of people have some good notes from him coming out. And the main loss was my guy who plays out for the Chargers now, J.C. Jackson. It was kind of unfortunate. I love J.C. Jackson. Thought he played really well in this defense, and he won't be doing that anymore. But through the offense real quick, we got Davante Parker now there, Kendrick Bourne and Jakobi Meyers. And Tyquan Thornton and Nelson Aguilar are also, rounding out that wide receiver bunch. I would say Kendrick Bourne is still my guy. I know that I have been having a lot of Kendrick Bourne propaganda on my timeline over this offseason, and it will remain that way. He simply did not play enough last season, and he would have had some insane stats had he played the entire season. He only started 4 games last season, Joe. Kendrick Bourne.
Crazy.
He had 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. Can you imagine if he had been a full-time player on the team? A lot of people, and I know that you're going to be scared of Davante Parker, and Bill Belichick loves receivers that burn him he will eventually go try to acquire them on the team, which is what he did with Davante Parker. This could mean good things for Davante Parker, but I'll believe it when I see it. I've seen a lot of Davante Parker in the past. I have not seen a lot that has made me think that he is all of a sudden with Mac Jones going to make the leap that he couldn't make in Miami. But who knows? I also don't want to rule it out either. He could potentially be very good. Jakobi Meyers, I love the story of Jakobi Meyers. I'm glad that he finally caught a touchdown last season. That was very special for him. I just don't know if I totally agree that he's going to get the same target share and work that he got last season. His catch rate was not good. You can partially blame that on Mac Jones being a smidge inaccurate, even though Pats fans, I would never say that out loud, so please do not at me on Twitter. Mac Jones is a fine young man from the University of Alabama. They also brought in Tyquan Thornton. A lot of people think that Tyquan Thornton might actually take Kendrick Bourne's spot, but I think Tyquan Thornton would be better used on Davante Parker's side of the ball, and he's not gonna leapfrog Davante Parker. So I'm kind of interested to see how they use Tyquan Thornton. He's very, very fast. He's from Baylor. Made a lot of money for me in DraftKings last year with the college football. But I wasn't ever really overly impressed with Tyquan Thornton when he was at Baylor. Now, that could be the talent level. That could be him. I'm not sure. But I don't think we need to overreact to him being taken in the second round. I think just because he had that high draft pedigree, sometimes we fall in love with players just because they get drafted that high. I think he's one of the guys that you can relax on. Let's let him get used to the offense. I don't think he's going to legitimately threaten Kendrick Bourne, Davante Parker, or even Jakobi Meyers for their spot on the team. We'll quickly get through the rest of this. Mac Jones, you're not going to take him. You're not going to take him. It's just not going to happen. First of all, it's a run-first team. Mac Jones is going to be better than he was last season, but it's still not going to be a fantasy relevant better. He's going to be a better real football player than a fantasy football player. This is a fantasy football show. I just got to explain that. Sorry, Pats fans. Again, do not at me on Twitter. Damien Harris and Rahmondre Stevenson are your 2 running backs you're looking for. I think both of them could be solid to take as your in the running back 3 position. I don't think you need to overspend for either one of them. If you're sitting there between taking one of them and a dart throw wide receiver, I still think I might go with the dart throw wide receiver that you feel more confident in than you would say a Rahmondre Stevenson or Damien Harris. But either one could end up being good for the rest of the season. They also brought in Pierre Strong, which is interesting to say the least. Joe, can't wait to get your thoughts on that in a second. And then Hunter Henry is the tight end you're looking for this year. He was the more used one than Jonnu Smith, but I still think they paid Hunter Henry a lot of money, so hopefully receiving-wise he can be a little bit better than he was last year. But again, I'm not really sure what you're going to get out of Mac and Cheese Jones. I guess we'll see. Joe, what are your thoughts on this offense?
I couldn't even tell you. I like your Bourne pick. I think Bourne has a good opportunity. I like Parker. The running backs, Damien Harris is going into the last year of his contract. He fumbled in 2 critical situations last year.
Bill hates that.
Yeah, I just, we'll see where this team's at this year. But I think Stevenson kind of jumps into that spot and kind of overtakes Harris throughout the year. But the Pierre Strong addition, James White is ancient. He's 30 years old, which for running back standards is very old. So I think Pierre Strong, he's an extremely natural runner with the ball in his hands. And he wasn't used a ton as a receiver, but I think he can take that next step and kind of slot into that receiving role for them. So Pierre Strong is definitely a guy to keep an eye on. As far as Damien Harris and Rahmondre Stevenson, save yourself the headache and don't even worry about them. If you're in a dynasty, I'd be trying to buy Rahmondre Stevenson, but I would not be happy about it. I would be trying to sell Damien Harris as quickly as I possibly can because, I just think with the way the Patriots run the ball and how effective they are, he's not as talented as, the 3 touchdown, 2 touchdown games he had last year would imply that he is on that one. So overall, I'm just kind of avoiding this offense. I mean, I like taking the cheaper pieces off of it. Their wide receivers are essentially free. Bourne's going at wide receiver 83, Parker's at 63, Jakobi Meyers is at 63, Thornton's at 101. I mean, if you're in a deep enough league to be taking stabs at Thornton and stuff, you could, but I mean, taking a shot at a Patriots wide receiver is absolutely nothing right now. And Bourne, for what he did last year and how efficient he was, it would be my guy that I like on that. That's all I got on the.
No, I'd have to agree. And Damien Harris is not long for the Patriots world. When's the last time Bill Belichick decided to throw some money out for a running back?
Never.
Don't think that that's going to happen. I love
James White's the only one that's ever gotten that.
Wherever Damien Harris goes next, that will be where Damien Harris, we finally get to see exactly what his value is in real life. All right, we'll quickly get on to the defense. Matthew Judon was really good last season, so I think you can continue rolling him out there. He had a couple of games where I guess not so much, but overall I think I can trust Matthew Judon. Kyle Duggar and Devin McCourty, good safeties, good guys that you could probably take on your team. Jabril Peppers is also somebody I find very interesting on this team, a guy that you could probably grab. And then Adrain Phillips, because he has that DB-LB designation on Sleeper, it could be valuable. I'll have to see what his play time, what his snap share is. That could be a problem. But I think that's somebody that you could take in a sleeper draft and feel pretty good about having on your team. Joe, who else on this team are you thinking about?
I'm really interested in the Juwan Bentley and Mack Wilson thing.
Wilson's another guy.
Yeah, Juwan Bentley did nothing last year. I mean, watching him play, he just kind of lumbered around the middle. I don't think he did anything to necessarily solidify that spot. We all know the upside that Mack Wilson brings. He never got a chance to show it on the Browns, but maybe Belichick can get something out of him. I could see him moving into the middle linebacker starting spot without much competition there. And then the Kyle Duggar thing's upsetting to me because I was all in on Kyle Duggar. The signing of Jabril Peppers worries me on that one. I mean, they have so much invested in Duggar right now that I think that it's his job to lose. But there's definitely a lot of value in the safeties here. Even if you took a shot on Peppers, you probably get him. Well, on name value, he's not going to go later. But Duggar and Phillips would be the 2 guys I'm interested in there. But I've had Phillips on lots of teams, and the dude just puts up points. That's all he does. And if you can put him in that defensive back position, that's all he does.
I think you are correct. By the way, we will also mention on this team, they have Nick Folk, who was the number 1 overall kicker last season. We don't usually do kicker talk on the show, but Nick Folk seems to be the guy. So whenever you have everybody trying to get cute and taking Justin Tucker and, trying to take their guys, Nick Folk might be a sneaky good kicker to take. Sorry, this is the Patriots. We're talking kickers because the team is very not fantasy friendly. Just being honest, Bill Belichick hates fantasy football, and that's been obvious for the last, 4 years since he decided Brady was done being on the team. It's just frustrating, but oh well. Bill Belichick's been a winner his whole life. All right, over under for the Patriots is 8.5. I don't really think I even need to see the schedule, to be honest. I'm going under because this team is not overly talented. They are right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, going under 8.5. Let's see. So we got Miami, Steelers, Ravens, Packers, Lions, Browns, Bears, Jets, Colts. Then a bye week, and then we got the Jets, the Vikings, the Bills, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Bills.
Man, they're daring people to take this 8.5, though.
They really are.
That schedule is not tough at all. I still don't think this roster is that talented. But now you're daring Bill Belichick not to win, some of these goofy games in there that he's like the Cardinals. That one stuck out like a sore thumb. That's a game Bill Belichick wins every time when he probably shouldn't, but he does. He's going that game. I'm probably already going to take the Pats to win that game.
We all know Belichick owns the Colts, so
that's probably a good one to put up there too. Yeah, exactly. And he owns Matt Ryan forevermore. After
that's true.
I'm sorry, Falcons fans. We didn't need to get that one in there.
Yeah, you guys don't need any more kicking while you're.
Yeah, I apologize. That wasn't. I didn't intentionally mean for that one to come out. But all right, that's the AFC East. I think we can safely say Buffalo Bills are going to wipe this division. I don't think it's going to be close. As far as a second playoff team, I think Miami might be flirting with it a little bit, but they've got a lot of contention from the AFC West to get. They're going to try to get all 4 teams in this year, and I'm not betting against any of them.